Dragon Quest VR opened at Shinjuku VR Zone in Tokyo on April 27th. While waiting for our turn, we watched a woman swing her sword desperately while screaming, "Ah, help me!" We assumed she was exaggerating for a
Hey guys, today we're taking a look at Dolphin VR. A modified version of the popular GameCube emulator that allows for full 3D and a full 360 degree unlocked camera. And we're not going to be using the Vive or the Oculus Rift, we're going to be doing this on a $10 headset. So what do you need to get started? Well, first you'll need so it should be 4 kits, but I prefer the plastic sets. This $10 VR Box 2.0 is much more comfortable and even has a modded Wii or GameCube. GameCube VR. First, you will need a way to stream to your phone, so I'll be using Dolphin VR. Track I. If you'd like to see a while others VR, you can finally experience Ocarina of Time in VR. And yup, Melee works too. And yes, I'm completely aware of how silly this is. I don't think most people want to run through these games entirely in VR, but since they don't require much of an investment, I'd say give it a try. Even with the $2 headsets, it's pretty neat. And if nothing else, it gives you a new way to experience your favorite
NRA wants you to believe a fantasy about our founding. There should be no regular.
Good victuals. Think I got some dog eggs in here.
Damn it! This is the third family meal Uno's missed this week.
That just leaves more for Daddy.
I'm gonna go check on him. Giuseppe, make sure none of these hogs touch my food.
Another round.
Nah, I'm good.
Drinking alone instead of eating dinner with your family. If I was a Midwest housewife, I'd be considering divorce. All right, enough's enough. You've been Mr. Sad Clown for 3 days now. Time to get it together so we can get back to helping people.
Help? Who have we helped? We've certainly killed and maimed people. I know that much. Bebo, give me another.
I can't talk to you when you're like this, Uno. You're a beast. A feral beast! Bebo, cut him off!
You cut me off, you're dead, Bebo.
People is confused.
Whatever, no one listens to me anyway. I'm out of here.
What's gotten into my special little guy? I gotta figure out some way to help him.
When are we gonna start taking baths together? I'm starting to feel a tad isolated in this big old house.
There will be no baths with you, stink pig. So, as you can see, Chris Kyle, these freaks have been up to some deeply dark-sided shit. And I got enough here to put them away for a long time. A very long time.
Great detective work, King.
Thank you, Chris Kyle. American sniper, war hero, strong man.
Your mission is righteous. That's why God sent me down here to help you. But first, we must do something. Something of great importance.
One moment, Chris Kyle.
Hi there, King. Time for your parole inspection.
Oh, Greg! I forgot it was that time. Well, come on in. You won't find anything strange or supernatural in here, I swear.
Well, you know we love to hear that, King, but still gotta check. Normal. 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 All very normal.
Don't let him leave.
Hopefully this will cheer him up. Took me hours to make, but I think he's beautiful. HK, you are good to go. I repeat, you are good to go.
Howdy! I'm the Howdy Kitten. Here to wrangle up some smiles, lasso up those bad feelings, and to give you mama's milk.
Bingo.
Woo-wee! We are feeling it now. I think someone's getting ready to smile.
He's not dancing along with Howdy Kitten like I imagined. Better send in reinforcements.
Howdy Kitten's so nice they made him twice. Howdy, Uno.
All right, last room of the house. I like to come in here sometimes and rub the figures. Calms me down.
Well, this place is depressing and smells like dog eggs, but those aren't parole violations. Have a good one, King. I'll be on my way.
Wait!
Huh?
Well, seeing as there's no violations, you think you could knock some time off my sentence, or?
You know, I do hate seeing you like this, King. Sure, How about 2 weeks off? Sensing department.
We need Henry King taken off the house arrest ASAP. He, fed the needy and cured polio. Good behavior and stuff. He's awesome and good. Oh, my stars! Yippee! My power grows. Good God, Chris Kyle. What have you done to Greg?
He was a necessary sacrifice. It's time you learn the truth, King.
I'm almost dry here, Uno.
Yeah, give us a smile so we can give our nipples a break.
I can't believe he thought this would work. What a...
Oh my God!
Grammarly helps make your writing clear and concise, no matter where you are. With
Our most sincere thanks to you, gentlemen, for volunteering to cook a hearty dinner for our soup kitchen.
This isn't some rinky-dink volunteer work, Father. This is just step one on our quest to end world hunger.
That is quite a noble cause. But know this. Dinner must be served when the bell rings its horrid tone.
Master, the bells, they do not ring for me.
Back to your tower, Mosey Popo.
No! When will they ring?
Oh yes, I almost forgot. We have our little after-school boy to help with your culinary needs. His parents want him to give back to the community. He needs some time away from the computer. Isn't that right, Jesse?
Very based, very red-pilled.
Very good. Remember, when the bell rings, we feed.
Okay. Jesse, come along, I guess.
Approach my body, King. Let the blood sacrifice commence.
I apologize for my clothes. My ceremonial garb is in the wash.
Bring me your offering.
No! Oh, no! Bon appetit, Chris Kyle.
You bring me nothing but rodents and trash animals! Well, take this ceremonial dagger, King. I need the blood of a virgin. That'll speed up this process and bring my body back into this realm.
A virgin?
Don't fail me.
Giuseppe! I need you to watch this kid. He's your responsibility tonight. And you need to be on him like flies on shit. We can't afford any mistakes. No fuck-ups. I'm serious.
Okay.
Jesse, listen to Giuseppe. Do whatever he says.
I don't like listening to people doing whatever they say. They think they could push me around. Not anymore.
Oh my god.
Uno, we are so fucked.
Well, I mean, this is my first time sauteing mushrooms. I don't think it's going too bad. You fucking dick.
I don't know if you've noticed, but it's like 15th century Romania out there right now.
What are you talking about? Oh. Yeah, I mean, I guess I've never been to this part of town before.
I know this was supposed to be our baby steps towards solving world hunger, but I believe this has turned into a do-or-die situation. Much like Christ, we too may be crucified by the end of this night. Can I go through with this? The voice of Chris Kyle is so loud in my mind.
Virgin blood, you fat fuck.
I'm beginning to fear what I've become. Is this sauce reduced?
I'm going as fast as I can.
Reduce faster! Fuck! How are you looking right now?
Good, I think.
Do you think or do you know?
I know.
Good! Was that so fucking hard? Christ!
You know, when people talk to me like that, I think about doing things. Really bad things that feel so good. Do you want to feel good?
No, I don't.
I think I'm having a panic attack. I'm spiraling.
When the bell rings, we feed. Be prepared.
Oh, shit. I now know exactly why you're freaking out.
Yes! We're doomed! I need to buy some time. I need you to go out there and give them a tight 5.
I can do 3.
Well, then why are you standing here? Go!
I get no respect.
Master needs Jesse's a time log so he can get credit at school. Master will be very displeased if I don't collect them.
Okay. Go get them then. Why am I talking to you? God, you smell like tomato juice and piss.
You know, if someone said I smelled like tomato juice and piss, I'd think about doing things. Really bad things. That feel so good. Do you want to feel good?
I do. I do want to feel good.
Virgin blood, can you perform this request? Are you strong enough?
Anything for you, Chris Kyle. I am your servant, now and forever. Okay, everyone, all right. Settle down. I gotta make sure this slop is up to code. This is the finest meal I've ever had in my life.
Oh, thank you.
All right, let's feed the rest of these people.
What do you mean? Feed the rest?
The food. The beautiful food. We need to feed these hungry patrons.
That was the only dish we were able to make.
You mean to tell me there was one plate of food at the soup kitchen, and I ate it?
Oh no.
God damn it! None of you freaks better be at my fucking funeral! Oh, you fucking lowlifes! Goons! Good for nothings!
Enough! I've been talking with Giuseppe, and he's convinced we don't have to take your shit anymore. Isn't that right, Giuseppe?
I have no part in this. Get the bad boy away from me.
You've been riding my ass all night. And now it's time. Now it's time for Jesse to go down in the books as the son of a bitch who said enough's enough.
Listen, weird kid,
His name's Jesse, Uno. And he's right. I've been treating this entire kitchen like trash. We did something magical here today. We created maybe the greatest piece of culinary art ever to grace this planet. And if we have to die by the 15th century Romanians that inhabit this soup kitchen, so be it. We have left our mark on this world, and we have welcomed a new member into our family.
Giuseppe! You don't have to be afraid anymore. You don't have to bottle up your anger.
I don't like this boy.
That was one of the most beautiful things I've ever heard.
Come to take us to our own personal Golgotha, I presume.
No. I've killed my master, and now I'm the master of my own fate. Your speeches inspired me to live my best life, and this time I'm gonna let it all come out. This time I'm gonna stand up and shout. I'm gonna do things my way. It's my way. My way or the highway.
So there's not a mob of hungry peasants and an evil priest waiting to kill us?
Oh no, they left in terror as soon as your monster came out to do his comedy set. It was one of the strongest 3 minutes I've ever heard.
You played to an empty room?
I tell you, I get no respect.
I want to come live with you and all these beautiful creatures. I want to learn how to love again, to know what it feels like to be a part of a family again.
I vote fuck no.
My thoughts exactly. I don't want some hunchback freak roaming the halls of my beautiful palace. Boys, take him to the stockade. I think there's a few extra tomatoes lying around.
Got a new show for y'all. Got a damn good show. Yeah. But before we start the show, remember everybody, you can always support the twins at officialhorsetwins.com. Pick you out a patriotic hat, t-shirt today. Maybe a white privilege card, or maybe some beard products. Look at it hanging. Use discount code Chinese Fires. Me and my twin here gonna give you 20% off your purchase. Yeah. All right, what? Had a great 4th of July weekend. Yeah, I was down in California. Sound like them Mexicans down there crazy with them fireworks. Yeah,
we begin with a very serious question. This isn't a joke. Who is in charge at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue? Look at this Trafalgar, that's Robert Cahaley and Convention of States poll, one of the most accurate pollsters in the country. A majority of the American people believe that it is definitely not Joseph Biden. A whopping 57% think that Joe is not fully executing the duties of the office of president. In other words, Joe's not making the decisions, he's not in charge. I know at times on this program I have joked about this, but honestly, starting tonight, this stops. That stops. This is not a joking matter. America has a president that is now obviously cognitively compromised, and not only the country sees it, our enemies see it. And this cannot be good for anyone. According to this poll, look at these numbers. 58% of independents, they see it. Even 32% of Democrats understand Joe's not really the one in charge. That's right. A third of voters, Joe's own party, believe Joe's not capable of executing his duties in the office of president. And of course, they see what we all see, and that is somebody that is weak and frail and a cognitive mess and a shell of his former self. And it only appears to be getting worse. The main question now, okay, if he's not in charge, and the polls show that most people don't think he is, who is in charge? Who knew about Joe's condition, and what did they know, and when did they know it? Over the weekend, more struggles as Biden pulled out 2 note cards in an unsuccessful attempt to answer a pretty simple, basic, fundamental question. This is like a softball. You just knock it right out of the park. Not Joe. He's got to refer to the cards. Take a look.
With the most recent hack by the Russians, would you say that this means
We're not sure it's the Russians.
Okay.
I got a brief as I was on the plane. That's why I was late getting off the plane. I'll be in better shape to talk to you about it. Hang on a second. I'll tell you what they sent me, okay? The idea, first of all, we're not sure who it is for certain, number one. And what I did, I directed the full resources of the government to assist in a response if we determine.
That wasn't a hard question. That didn't need notes. Every hostile actor, every hostile regime in the world, they're studying him every day. And they're also becoming more emboldened every day. Look at this report. Chinese state media, they're now publicly boasting about a 3-part plan to invade Taiwan. In case you don't know, America's top ally in the region. In a long, belligerent speech, China's, hostile actor, dictator, Xi, actually said that he is committed to the hostile takeover of Taiwan, also vowing that any country that stands in China's way will, quote, have their heads bashed bloody against the Great Wall of Steel forged by over 1.4 billion Chinese people. Now, keep in mind, China is now also, the media is ignoring this, they have teamed up with Russia, and they're now supplying the mullahs in Iran with dangerous weapons that they're using in their proxy wars all over the Middle East. Now, European leaders, they're voicing grave concerns over Iran's nuclear program, as the country will now soon again begin to produce enriched uranium, and a massive violation of Obama's previous and precious nuclear deal. You know, billions of dollars, cargo planes of cash and other currency. No word on how Biden plans to respond to any of these situations. Just like it appears, there appears to be a plan of action against the Kremlin. What's Joe going to do after yet another likely Russian-based cyber attack? Up to 1,500 businesses were targeted this time. The Republican National Committee allegedly breached. So another serious question tonight. Joe, what are you going to do? Or maybe the question doesn't go to Joe. Whoever is actually making decisions at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, what are you planning to do? Maybe you'll divulge who you are publicly. And of course, no one in the media mob is going to hold Biden accountable, ever ask a tough question, just like no one on fake news CNN, 3 broadcast channels, MSDNC, New York Times, Washington Post, they won't dare ask questions about the mental capabilities or lack thereof of their dear leader. Just like they denied riots were riots, just like they protected candidate Joe Biden in his basement bunker, now President Joe. And remember, these were the same idiots who were the biggest proponents of all they wanted to talk about was, oh, the 25th Amendment and whether or not Donald Trump will get a cognitive test all throughout the Trump presidency. In fact, it wasn't that long ago that the armchair psychologists on the left and in the media had no problem diagnosing the President of the United States and demanding his removal from office for a variety of issues. You might recall. Let's go, as Warner Wolf said, to the videotape.
Rosenstein discussed recruiting cabinet members to invoke the 25th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution to remove Mr. Trump from office for being unfit.
People close to him during the campaign told me had early stages of dementia. Now, listen, you can get mad at me if you want to.
You can say that's not okay to say, but
it is okay to say.
He is unfit. Invoke the 25th Amendment.
This New York Times article basically showed us how Trump is not only in the early stages of dementia, but he is in cognitive decline.
Watching this president from here, I discussed the 25th Amendment at the end of the first month of the Trump presidency.
Join the Senate Democratic leader in calling on the vice president to remove this president by immediately invoking the 25th Amendment.
He is unfit, and he should step aside, and it may take a 25th Amendment to get him to step aside.
If we applied those standards to Joe, we'd be invoking the 25th Amendment and asking him to step aside. Now, despite Biden's obvious everyday cognitive struggles, the media mob is suddenly unconcerned with the mental capabilities of the President of the United States. They're also totally unbothered by the corrupt Biden family syndicate. In yet another explosive report, I can't wait for a book to come out, Miranda Devine, texts from Hunter's laptop from hell show the president's son complaining that he, Hunter, had to pay for, quote, everything for this entire family for 30 years, including daddy, apparently, while vice president. Other documents revealing that Hunter purportedly paying for his father's cell phone bill, other household expenses. Now, why on earth would Hunter, we know at the time,
If you want to eat healthy and feel your best, try Kachava. Kachava is the world's health.
We heard from the governor of Washington this week talking about climate change as a permanent emergency. So my question is, how does the news media cover a permanent emergency?
Just treat it like your ratings, bozo.
So excited. Well, I hope you enjoyed your 4th of July. I know Kat did. She's fine. I mean, you know, it's Kat, but... Now, the 4th, as you know, celebrates our independence from some toothless weirdos. It's quite an accomplishment to trounce an empire, so 250 years later, we can listen to this.
Are you proud to be an American? No. I feel embarrassed to be an American every day. I think a lot of things about this country are really embarrassing. Just like, I mean, racist history, colonization, even currently, just what's going on with politics and the cops.
Not really in this climate. No, like, I'm a black person, so obviously I experience a lot of, you know, there's like oppression that comes with that.
Not most of the time. I think sometimes it's just a little embarrassing.
I think that's a complicated question for me. I think I think most of the time, no, at least over like the past 4 years. It's been tricky to, you know, love to be an American.
Halfsies on that.
Like, partly, because, like, I feel like there's certain topics where it's, like, very controversial.
but like, I don't know. I just think that our economy just cares about money and not like they're humans, like, yeah, in general.
I mean, oh my gee. I mean, like. She said like 433 times. Halvesies. I can't wait till she enters the real world and takes my order at Arby's. All right. So all these lovely people are embarrassed by America. But do they have any alternatives?
Can you name a better country than the United States in your opinion?
I'm not sure if I can.
I don't think I can.
I mean, there's probably a really tiny European country that's thriving.
Ooh, good question. Europe?
Europe's not a country.
You get what I'm saying.
Maybe the British are better off without us. I mean, their food still sucks, but at least they like their country. And I know surveys like this are like shooting really stupid fish in a tiny, tiny barrel. College is where good grades don't matter as long as you get a hammer and sickle tattoo on your butt. Still there. But hey, they're just dumb kids, right? We can forgive them. But what happens when patriotism is now considered offensive by our very own leaders? This weekend, idiots from Maxine Waters to Cori Bush slammed 4th of July as nothing more than a celebration of racism. I could read you their tweets, but why? Here's this gist from Bush. Quote, the freedom they are referring to is for white people, which raises a point. Perhaps our politicians do such an awful job because they hate America. Did you ever think about that? And their incompetence is their weapon? Think about how easy it is to subvert a republic, get elected, then rot it from within, and if anyone challenges you, well, that's racist. Meanwhile, National Geographic marked the 4th by tweeting that smoke from fireworks causes disproportionate harm to communities of color. So I hope you enjoyed that Roman candle, you racist. But of course, National Geographic's virtue signal comes after decades of exploiting communities of color all over the world. Oh, look at topless women in their natural habitat. Remember that? When I was a young man, I just assumed every naked woman carried a basket of food on their head. And then there's the new Facebook feature that warns users when they've been exposed to extremist content. Facebook asks if you know someone who's becoming an extremist, which is why this morning I ratted out every anchor at CNN. But actually, you know, I did ask myself if I came across anything that seems extreme, and I did. But oddly, it's from Facebook's Mark Zuckerberg himself. What the hell was that? I mean, really, what the hell was that? Have you seen anything as white as that in your life? I mean, if riding a hydrofoil surfboard holding an oversized American flag isn't a mark of extremist privileged behavior, what is? All that's missing is the red hat, a rifle rack, and a plate of racist apple pie. I mean, in this era where patriotism is merely a dog whistle for hate, couldn't one argue that any form of patriotism in an oppressive racist society is celebrating its past and therefore an example of extremism? I believe that's MSNBC's mission statement. I mean, Zuckerberg is certainly not helping his own case here as he encourages citizens to narc on citizens. And it's working. At my 4th of July cookout, I caught my brisket wearing a wire. It's the corny joke. But thanks to Facebook, it's no longer media and government policing your beliefs. They're motivating the public to do the dirty work for you. It's the new version of if you see something, say something. The only difference is that something is no longer an unattended suitcase at the airport. It's your buddy getting a "Don't Tread on Me" tattoo. The rise of cancel culture isn't a mistake. It's bad on purpose. The fear over losing one's job over something you said, that's intended. So that fear self-polices your own words. You don't need a government to do it when your fear silences you and debate mysteriously disappears. When the world's largest social media platform asks you to narc on your neighbors, it's not just you they're asking, but your neighbors too. But at least real narcs point out people who actually broke the law. So what if someone reports you? According to Facebook, you'll never know your accusers. How Stasi is that? Big Brother eases you into becoming their informant by reminding you that, quote, others in your situation have received confidential support, end quote. It's a high-tech, self-made witness protection plan. Only when you rat somebody out, you don't have to change your name, grow a beard, and move to Scranton like Joe DeVito did. You can think without repercussions. Quote, take action now to protect yourself and others, Facebook says. Let Facebook be the bad guy. They're protected, not you. I remember when we were young, we were supposed to fight Big Brother, not hold hands with him. I wonder what the angry white male thinks.
Me? Well, I guess I spent the holiday feeling extremely proud, extremely thankful, and extremely blessed that I was born in the greatest country in the world. Hey, I guess I am an extremist.
All right. It's a big flag. How about you, angry black male?
Dorothy. Yes, it was the 4th of July. Yes, we celebrate America's independence. Yes, this country was built on the backs of men and women of all colors, creeds, to make it what we are today. So, cheers to everybody. That's it.
So I hope you all had a good 4th, but now it's the 6th. You might want to take that flag down now before you get reported. Welcome to tonight's guests. He's 50% class, 50% sass, and 50% bad at math. Townhall.com editor and Fox News contributor Katie Pavlich. If you can't laugh at his jokes, just look at his face. Writer and comedian Joe DeVito. She's like a rubber band, thin, useful, but bound to snap sooner or later. Fox News contributor Cat Tips. And he's a big fish in every pond. My massive sidekick and host of Enough Said on Fox Nation, Tyrus. Tyrus, it's easy to laugh at those students, but don't they deserve to be laughed at?
No, as a parent, I would be crying. I'd be like, this is what my college money, you're coming home today. Get in the van, leave your stuff. No, you don't need your books. You're not using them. Maybe some of these congressmen and congresswomen who said the freedom's not for us, but you work in the department in charge of that.
Yeah.
So if you can't do your job, why are you there?
Exactly.
Like, what are you doing, Miss Waters?
Yeah.
Like, this country's not free. You're a black woman sitting in office elected by your peers of multiple colors, sexes, genders, etc. That kind of means you are.
Yeah.
Like, it's just, what are we doing?
Yeah, it's true. It's true. So, Katie, the thing, okay, so you see the students, and you can kind of forgive them, even though it's kind of sad. But to Tyrus's point, these are people that were elected. They're our leaders, and they are very honestly telling you how they feel about America. Maybe that's good that we know.
Well, maybe it's good so we know exactly how to combat it, right?
Yeah.
The problem is that college campuses have basically spilled over into real life. We used to think that, hey, you graduate from college, you get a real job, you look at your paycheck, and all the taxes are coming out of it, and you see the light of smaller government and wanting to just be left alone.
Mm-hmm.
That's not the case anymore. And if you look at where that was taken, I mean, Georgetown is like the whitest campus
Yeah.
you could possibly. It's always like the white chicks
Yeah.
who are like, I'm so embarrassed about America. Oh my God, it's so bad. But I don't want to go anywhere else
Pretty good.
because that's gross.
Can you talk more like that? That's, I feel a new character coming on. It is true, though. Where does that come from? And also the uptalk. Did you notice?
Talk.
Yeah, it's like, and so, you know, it's racist.
And embarrassing.
It's embarrassing.
And I really need a latte, so.
Yes.
I'm going to yoga now. Bye.
Yes. So, Joe, when I was, it was cool in the old days to be patriotic.
Yeah.
And it was scary to be anti-patriotic. It has flipped. In order to enter all the cool clubs, you got on this country.
Yeah, well, the only encouraging thing from watching those students is that they've been indoctrinated, but they clearly have not been paying attention in any of their classes. So, yeah, it's weird. Well, they go right to racism and all that because that's their move. You know, they say if all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Although no one shown there is going to be doing any kind of manual labor. That's
Definitely not.
Holding a hammer.
None of that.
I think the colleges should be required to teach a class in patriotism. That would be fun to see the faculty's heads spin around because there's hardly any colleges in the United States that don't take some money from the government.
Right.
So if we're going to be giving them taxpayers' money, why don't we make them teach a little bit of gratitude? And it would be nice if that actually worked its way up to some of our esteemed congresspersons there. I don't know what this problem is in the West, where we're the only culture that is so dedicated to denigrating ourselves. You don't hear Estonians don't have problems with their people on their Olympic teams turning the backs to their flags.
No.
They don't have that problem in Hungary. They don't have that problem with people coming from Kenya. But somehow in the United States, you can receive all of these things and still be mad as hell. And it shows a real lack of gratitude and an unrealistic view of the world because no one in the history of this planet has had it easier than an American college student.
Yeah, and the scary thing about it is we can no longer believe that they will grow out of it because we're looking at 50 and 60-year-old people with this mentality who are in office, 70-year-old people that are in office. I really want to talk about the hydrofoil, Zuckerberg, but I realize that maybe you didn't do your research on the hydrofoil. So
what research is there to do?
Was that the most amazing video you ever saw?
I watched the video.
Yes, that's the research.
So great job, Kat.
Oh, don't encourage her.
Thank you. No, obviously it's the least relatable thing I've ever seen. But ever. I don't even know what that was. I'm not even at the level of money where I know what that was. But we'll get there. I wanted to point out something quickly about the fireworks article. This is why the wokeness stuff makes no sense, because I don't think it makes sense to the people who are actually writing it sometimes. Because obviously wokeness is what they're going for. Fireworks are racist. You know, they disproportionately impact communities of color. But then if you, reading the whole article, one of the solutions they suggested was to have police crack down on fireworks. And I'm like, hang on.
Yeah.
Yes. So your woke solution is you want these cops who you said, you've been saying for a year are all racist.
Yes.
To go into these communities of color and go after these people for fun. How can you hold all these things in your head at once?
That is a great point.
Thank you.
Excellent work.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch.
If you want to eat healthy and feel your best, try Kachava. Kachava is the world.
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. Hope you had a terrific 4th of July. It's a day worth celebrating. Despite what you may read day in and day out, this is still a great country. Where else are you going to go that's better? Nowhere. America's still full of happy, decent, independent-minded people. The attitudes of our leaders may have changed dramatically in recent years, and they have, but the virtues of our population have not changed. That's the good news. The bad news is the people in charge are working hard to make Americans hate our own country. If you made the mistake of going online this weekend, you saw them pouring out their misery on social media. Instead of enjoying hot dogs and fireworks with the kids they don't have, they were on Twitter yelping about slavery and white supremacy and what a terrible place the United States is. It's easy to ignore people like this. You just turn off your screen and then go live your life. Unfortunately, it is much harder to shield your children from them. That's the problem. Case in point, last week, the largest teachers union in the country, the National Education Association, announced that its new and first priority is making anti-American indoctrination, race-based indoctrination, mandatory in every classroom in the country. All K-12 schools, the union declared, must teach children that, quote, white supremacy, anti-blackness, anti-indigeneity, racism, patriarchy, cis, heteropatriarchy, capitalism, ableism, and anthropocentrism are embedded in every aspect of American society. So if you're a straight white American, even if you're a very small child, You are guilty. It's your fault. You're a bad person. That's what teachers will be telling your children this fall. The teachers union ended this statement with this line, which is so hilariously revealing that it does belong in a museum somewhere, and we hope it makes it. Quote, as the ancient African proverb says, know thyself. The African proverb. Except it's not an African proverb. Know thyself is, of course, Greek, as any literate person knows. It was inscribed by the ancient Greeks in the Temple of Apollo at Delphi. But the teachers union did not know this. So not only are these people crazed ideologues, they are stupid. Your children are being taught by some of the most ignorant people in the country. How'd that happen? God knows how it happened. But you better not complain about it, or else Joe Biden's Praetorian Guard will denounce you on television as a racist.
But the former vice president tonight also joining the rest of the GOP, pushing false right-wing talking points about the teaching of critical race theory.
Gates and the other Trumpers want critical race theory to just be a foghorn. They're no more dog whistles. This is about the woke left making the white man pay for things.
Claims of reverse racism have been the bread and butter of the modern Republican Party for decades. And now they have a new boogeyman to latch on to, critical race theory.
It's a boogeyman. It's not real. You imagined it. You're crazy. Despite the fact the teachers union just spelled out in a document calling for more, yes, critical race theory. But if you notice that, if you object in any way to the current obsession with race, the one subject no normal person really wants to obsess over, then you yourself are obsessed with race and you must be stopped because you're dangerous. That's what they're saying. Not just a few of them. All of them are saying that, and as always, they're saying it in unison. So what does the average person do about this? What does it take to fight back against it? And of course, you should be fighting back against it because everything is at stake. You can't have a multiracial democracy if people retreat into their tribes and hate each other, as this curriculum teaches them to do. So what do you do? Well, whatever you do, it's going to take some courage. Daniel Concannon learned that the hard way. Until a few weeks ago, Concannon was an administrator at Northwest Elementary School in Manchester, New Hampshire. Like so many school employees, he was then forced to participate in training about the fundamental moral flaws inherent to white people. As an American and a normal person, someone who admires Martin Luther King, he objected to this. On the other hand, he, like most people, had very little power to do anything about it. He wasn't a rich person. He was making about 30 grand a year, and he needed the job. But in the end, his conscience would not allow him to participate in something this poisonous. So he resigned. And if you get a minute, look up his resignation letter. It's online. He ends it this way, quote, I wish the Trotsky disciples at Manchester School District nothing but failure in their ongoing quest for civilizational degradation. I leave you with the only verbal response befitting an attempt at anti-white indoctrination. F you. Well, it wasn't so long ago that Daniel Concannon and men and women like him would have been considered heroes. He's a man of conscience. He was willing to sacrifice his own job to do the right thing. But he's not considered a hero anymore. In fact, he's been effectively disappeared. You may not have heard his name until tonight. There aren't a lot of Daniel Concannons out there, and that's the point. The few that arise are muted so that no one will follow them. Corporate media has no interest in amplifying their stories. Or the story of this guy. This man is a father who showed
you because he white? You're going to purposely tell a white kid, oh, the black people are all down and suppressed. How do I have 2 medical degrees if I'm sitting here oppressed? How did I get, first of all, time out, because I only got 5 minutes now, 5 minutes. 2 medical degrees. No mom, no dad in the house. Worked my way through college. Sat there and hustled my butt off to get through college. You going to tell me somebody that looked like all y'all white folks kept me from doing that? Are you serious? I do this stuff on a daily basis. I'm in the hood. I'm in the communities. I'm out there with folks in their face. I've been doing this stuff since I was 18 years old, talking to black folks. And you know what? None of them are buying this nonsense. And ain't not one white person ever gonna keep any of them from getting there. So the CRT stuff.
Catastrophic flooding, stranding all kinds of vehicles and people. Please stay off the roads.
In a real emergency, how would you rate your preparedness plan?
BS.
Must be one of those alt-right QAnon people CNN's always warning you about. It's BS, he said, and you heard the applause in the background. The overwhelming majority of Americans, and pollsters have found this pretty clearly, think this is insane. They think you should judge people by what they do, not on the basis of their skin color. They believe in Martin Luther King. So it is BS. In fact, it's more than that. It's civilization-ending poison. But it's everywhere. How widespread is it? Well, we can't really be sure until we finally get cameras in the classroom, as we put them on the chests of police officers, until we finally get a civilian review board in every town in America to oversee the people teaching your children, forming their minds. And let's hope we get both of those very soon. But until we do, we can't know exactly how widespread this is. But there are indications. We know that these ideas, this poison, has made it all the way to expensive private schools in central Ohio. Columbus Academy among them. Columbus Academy, one of the most prestigious schools in the state of Ohio, tuition more than $30 grand a year per student. In the past year, Columbus Academy, which has a long history of academic excellence, has become race-obsessed. School administrators aren't working to help unwed teenage mothers or improve black neighborhoods. That might actually make the country better. If you want to talk about race, maybe you could improve someone's life, but they're not. Instead, they're doing what all guilty white liberals do. They've adopted the same familiar racist curriculum. Some people are better than other people based on the color of their skin. They've been teaching that. And a lot of parents went along with it. They didn't say a word. They didn't know what was happening, or they were too afraid to speak up. But two mothers decided they weren't going to have it, so they objected. Their names are Andrea Gross and Amy Gonzalez. And in January, they decided, we're going to fight this. We love the school, and we're going to do something about it. So they founded a group called the Pro-Columbus Academy Coalition, and it was Pro-Columbus Academy. They wanted to make the school better. Their mission was to stop the bigotry and return Columbus Academy to its academic mission, teaching children to read, teaching them history, showing them how to do math. But the people who run Columbus Academy didn't want to hear it. They didn't want to have the conversation. They didn't want to listen. They wanted Gross and Gonzalez to shut up and go away. But they wouldn't. When you make a mother mad about her children, it's hard to make her shut up. So last month, instead of punishing them, the school decided to punish their children. Columbus Academy kicked their 3 daughters out of school. They expelled them for what their mothers did. So challenge the regime and we'll hurt your children. The Soviets did it. Columbus Academy did it too. The school's headmistress, a confirmed mediocrity called Melissa Soderberg, sent a letter to every parent in the school explaining why she was punishing the children for the sins of the parents. But she didn't write it alone. That letter was signed by the head of the board, someone you'd think might know better, a local developer called Jonathan Cass, someone with a job, but he signed it. According to Soderberg and Cass, by daring to complain about racism in the Columbus Academy curriculum, which is real, these two mothers had caused, quote, pain and even fear for physical safety among students, families, faculties, and staff. In other words, if you dare to question us, we won't disagree with you. We'll attack you, we'll hurt your children, and we'll accuse you of assault. It's a physical crime. You're making us afraid.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.
He was like, you want to know about the first one? It took me a minute to realize he's confessing.
Tomorrow we will celebrate 245 years of glorious American independence. And it will not be canceled, by the way. It will be canceled. And we will teach young people across the country that George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson, John Adams, Benjamin Franklin, John Hancock will forever be American heroes. People want to take their names off buildings. Can you believe it? They took names off buildings like George Washington. And I told you, this is where they're coming from. We're not going to let that happen. They will never be purged from history or canceled from our hearts. The mission for all of us here tonight is to preserve the legacy of July 4th, 1776. and to defend our liberty from the radical left movement that seeks to cancel this date, demolish our heritage, and destroy our beloved nation. In just 5 months, the Biden administration has launched an all-out assault on everything we cherish and we value. Under Joe Biden and the left, I don't know if it's Joe, to be honest with you. It's somebody. Does anybody know who it is? It's somebody. Free speech is under assault like never before. Religious liberty is being crushed. Nobody took care of religious liberty like we did. Dissenters are being persecuted. Our streets are being overtaken by vicious thugs and bloodthirsty criminals, Democrat cities. Our border is being erased before our very eyes. It was never stronger than the border that we created just a few months ago. Critical race theory is being shoved down our children's throats and into the ranks of our military. And our generals are even going for it. Maybe they're just doing that because they think that's politics. They ought to focus on China and Russia and other things of far greater importance. Big tech monopolies are out of control. Men are allowed to play in women's sports. So unfair, so crazy, and so bad for women's and the whole women's sports movement. So unfair, so bad. It'll end, it'll end, it'll end hopefully sooner rather than later. And our leaders are weakly bowing down to Russia, Iran, and communist China. There's only one way to save our nation. We have to work harder than ever before to win the colossal victory for America First Republicans in the midterms next year, and we have to keep fighting exactly like we are for right now. And I'll be doing exactly that, and we need your help. We need the help of this great country. And I just left Ohio a few days ago. We had 42,000 people also, and this crowd is big. They say you had like this massive storm. They say we lost nobody. We lost nobody. I love those guys back there. Together we will take back the House, we will take back the Senate, and we will take back America. We're not going to let this happen. 3 days ago, I traveled to the southern border to witness Joe Biden's demolition of American sovereignty firsthand. You saw that. What a demolition it was.
Albion Online is a sandbox MMORPG in which you write your own story instead of following a laid-out path. Explore a vast open world. Everything.
We begin tonight with Donald Trump's kids speaking out amid this ongoing criminal probe after their company, where they typical this kind, discussing how the intent, parody, for example, which no one's claiming Trump did, that doesn't get you out of the underlying charge if the facts show and a jury thinks that you ducked taxes. This is about off-the-books tax crime allegations. And as referenced in the indictment, Don Jr. may have just decided to admit what's already on paper or on the books, which is Donald Trump's signature on those very checks that were used as criminal evidence in the indictment. Another executive at the company, another family member, Eric Trump, speaking out to defend the family.
Are you concerned that they may send an indictment your way, your brother's way, or your sister's way?
You know what, I'm not, Eric, because guess what? You know, we've always lived amazingly clean lives, and believe me, if they could have, they already would have, right? I mean, that's what they wanted. That was their end goal.
amazingly clean lives. You can think of this as the outcast defense, so fresh and so clean. But again, adjectives, claims, opinions about how they live or what the goals were.
We have some good ones, right? America first, save America. But there's something about MAGA. Just keeps coming back, right? MAGA. MAGA country. Even while the Democrat extremists let murderers, rapists, drug dealers, and dangerous criminals run wild in Democrat cities, they're corrupting and weaponizing the law against their political opponents. Oh, gee, I'm so surprised. Radical left New York City and state prosecutors who have allowed crime to skyrocket to we have never seen anything like what's happened. Record levels, record murders up a percentage that's not even possible. And outrageously and shamefully continuing the greatest witch hunt. That's what they do. They go and target me. They target, I've been targeted since I came down the escalator. Do you remember Mueller? The 18 angry Democrats, remember that? They had more resources. They spent $48 million, and in the end, they said there was no collusion. I couldn't believe they came up with that. A friend of mine said, you have to be the cleanest guy in history. Think of it. 2.5 years, 48 million, the Mueller report, no collusion. This is the kind of persecution that they're doing, as an example in New York, and they're doing it all over, that you would see in a third world nation. This isn't for us. It's reminiscent of a communist dictatorship targeting your political opponents for, really, it is, think of it, prosecution. They prosecute people, good people, fabulous people, people that love our country, honest people, fabricating charges to try and silence them, abusing the justice system and leaking out information on a daily basis in the press, to engage in flagrant character assassination. Every day I pick up the paper. Hey, what did they leak out today? It's unprecedented, unheard of, and totally unacceptable in America for prosecutors to run for office on a promise to get their political enemies. How about the one, New York State? We're going to get Trump. I'm running. She's running. I'm going to get Trump. I promise her. Knows nothing about me. All she knows, she's going to get me from the day she got in. I'm going to get Trump. But, you know, the people are wise to it. The people get it. I'm going to get Trump. Vote for me. I don't know a damn thing about him, but I'm going to get him. But even if they've committed no crimes, no problems, it's a fascist and authoritarian, and the people who talk about democracy are literally destroying it before our very eyes. Nobody can believe the things that we're witnessing, so many things. After hundreds of subpoenas, and that includes Mueller and all of the Congress where I have been, think of it, probably no president has done more than we have, the Trump administration, including you. With the military, with the lowest taxes, the biggest tax cut ever, with the biggest regulation cuts. We built Space Force, so important, so many things. By the way, we developed a vaccine in 9 months instead of 5 years, okay, which everybody's big deal. Lots of big deals. But just think of it. We did all of this and constantly under investigation by the radical left. From day one, from the day I came down the escalator with your great and beautiful future First Lady. Right from that day. They do love our First Lady, I will say. She's great. She is great, and she loves you, and she says hello. After over 3 million pages of documents, think of that, 3 million pages. Great company, big company, great company. They don't give you credit for that. I used to get a lot of credit. I get credit from the people that know. 4 years of searching, dozens and dozens of interviews, and millions of dollars spent of taxpayer funds, all wasted. The radical left continues to search for a crime and wreck lives, break laws, violate every principle of justice, fairness, and liberty. You see it. You see it on a constant basis. It's really called prosecutorial misconduct. It's a terrible, terrible thing. There's no depth to which the radical left will not sink to stop our Make America Great Again movement. Think of it. New York prosecutors did not go after a single financial firm after the 2008 financial crisis caused by all of those firms, which devastated and almost destroyed our country.
You're not a dish. You're a man. Most name brand bars and body washes you rub on your skin are classified by the FDA as synthetic detergent. It's not even real soap. Stop marinating your man meat in unholy ingredients that are harmful to your well-being, body, and sperm count. Start treating your body to the natural, nourishing, lathery goodness of Dr. Squatch soap. Get ready to step out of the shower feeling alive.
That smells really good. It smells like my guy's cologne.
Okay.
It smells really good, yeah. Really
good?
sexy. Oh, that smells really good.
I would use it, but like if a guy smelled like that too, I'd be like, ugh.
If my man was wearing this, I would be all over him.
It's natural. It's kind of like being in a forest.
I would use this on myself.
Way better than like the regular store.
Last night's 30-plus shootings to last year when we had an out-of-control race riot in which almost every member of the city of Chicago was, in fact, a victim, seems to be playing with those numbers just a little bit.
Well, we didn't have race riots last summer. That's no. You're wrong, sir. You're wrong. You're wrong, and I know that you like to be controversial, but no, you do, sir. You're going to let me answer? Or you're just going to keep talking like you did the last time? We're allowing you in here. I would like you to follow the same. I would like you to follow the same courtesy and rules that every other member of the press does. I know you have political aspirations. I know those political aspirations haven't been fulfilled. You're a failed political candidate over and over again. But what you don't have the right to do is make up facts. We did not have race riots in our city last year.
Bruh. Your reaction to criticism, Tribune editorial used the term irascible. How much of this do you think might have to do with the fact that you're a woman, and specifically a black woman?
About 99% of it.